member of the research team.
Research team.
Yep.
Okay.
My name is Kevin Coe, and I am a part of the research team also down there at St. Carlos, and we are studying the existence of new forms that have come into play with the work of Frank Chester.
Okay.
So we're down there at the research center expanding that work.
Well, tell me about the company and the founding of the company and what it's all about and its principles, its mission.
Well, the company has been really founded on the work of Frank Chester.
And who is he?
He is a gentleman, a geometrician, an artist, a sculptor, a very humble man that has discovered a new geometric form, something that has never been discovered since Plato. And so we have a new form that's coming into the world, and we're understanding that the geometry of this form has a direct relation, an intimate relation to ourselves, because it is the geometry of the human heart. The architectural structure and scaffolding of the left ventricle of the human heart.
So I can address this. So form has a function, and a form has an energy. And when we placed water, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Emoto's work.
100%. I did an interview with him a number of years ago.
Yes, yes.
He's one of my favorite guests, pioneer in all of this.
Exactly.
Yes. So when the energy and the crystals.
That's correct. That's correct. So when Frank Chester discovered this form, he sent it to Dr. Emoto to do a crystallization study on it. And so he placed water in the form, and the form, for 24 hours, the form had an effect on that water. And you can see that displayed in our poster over there. The crystals were more vibrant, more coherent, more structured. And so that's when he knew that this form would have a positive impact on water.
And so what we did is we took the understanding of what the form was doing and how the form was working in the heart and vortexualing the blood through the veins in the heart. And so we're mimicking what the heart is doing to the blood. We're doing the same thing with the same geometry to water. And so we're able to restructure the water at a molecular level during implosion of the vortex. The same exact thing that's happening with the blood in the heart.
And
at this point, we are still in that research. Right now, we're understanding that we are getting back to the hexagonal structure of the water molecule when we do implode it. Right now, we have been focusing on the compost tea brewer to help heal the agricultural lands and the soils that have been depleted of life. And actually, this fall and winter is our next mission, going forth with our creative ideas and devices and going into the drinking water fields. And so we will be.
So when you mention implode,
yes.
Yes, please explain that. What is the process of imploding with your restructuring of the water?
The process of implosion is when we get a vortex. We get a spiral. We'll get a vortex of energy that is actually condensing down and contracting in on itself. And through the geometry that we're able to use now with Frank's work is that we're finding that the geometry, after it condenses down, the energy runs back up the outside of the vortex. But because of the form, it ends up coupling that energy and then implodes on itself rhythmically, like the breath. So we find a universal breath and rhythm to the implosion as this water gets restructured on a molecular level.
And how do you know so much about this? What is your background in your studies and your education in this?
My education, I studied botany and plant biology at Arizona State, and then I dove deeply into the metaphysical side of life and reality. I've always studied nature since I was a kid, and so understanding that nature really is the dynamic model, and so understanding how nature works, we can mimic that and try to do what she has already mastered.
Okay.
Because we realized in our civilizations and the way we move and transport water, we transport water at 90-degree angles and straight lines and straight pipes. Water does not move like that. The molecule actually does not form that way. It actually gets destroyed when it goes through those anglings. And so when we actually go through spirals and vortex and things, that molecule gets back to its hexagonal form, how it does in nature. And so what we're doing and what we're finding is we're not trying to be nature, but we're realizing that man has done things to the water that nature didn't do, and so we need to restore what we've done. And so we try to mimic nature in those aspects, and we're using the sacred geometry and the understandings of the heart and how all of those energies and cosmic forces come into play, and we're trying to mimic that and create that in what we've got now with this device.
Well, there's definitely a concern about cleaning the water with the chloramines in the water that they're using. The pharmaceuticals, the agricultural,
the waste,
the bacteria.
That's right, and the lack of it now too.
Yes. So, what do you have for that?
So, our primary focus with this device initially is to raise the oxygen level of the water, so that your utilization would go down of the water.
So, are you saying that naturally the oxygenation would clean the water and purify it?
No, what I'm saying is that we're trying to increase the actual potency of the water that we're using, so the life force energy in it and the oxygen levels, so that you need less water to support agriculture, farming, gardening. So you have a higher quality of water that we're going to be able to deploy and use.
Right.
So we use the water more efficiently.
But again, how is the water cleaned? With all of those, are we not just moving all of the chloramine and all of the bad of the waste in that water around? So how are we going to extract that and get rid of that?
Well, our work at the research center is getting away from those old paradigms of having to, clean things and filter things and stuff. We feel, our intuitive nature feels, that the geometry, the organization of these forms have the ability to harmonize the molecules that are of dis-ease or of pathogens or anything that can be harmful to life. We feel right now that the geometry can organize that and possibly harmonize those things. But that is our work and our future at the research center, and that's why we're creating these ideas and devices and then trying to raise money to further those questions and get answers to those, because we have those also.
Well, you're definitely in a league of your own when you're saying harmonizing with them and working with it instead of working against it.
Yes.
So you're in the forefront. I applaud all your work and your research, and thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much.
Many blessings.
Thank you. Cool.